Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! A very good afternoon to you all then, and welcome along to the Commentary Hub's coverage of this big Premier League encounter. Arsenal trying to fight Liverpool for the Premier League title this season, could be getting back into the race. Man City trying to do the same as well. They take on each other at the Emirates Stadium this afternoon, and what a big game we have got coming up today. We're live on Storm FM, main Commentary Hub channel, and we're also live on Focus on Football as well. Very good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending where you are tuned in this afternoon. Today we've already seen some big results in the Premier League already today, with Tottenham fighting off the fight for relegation with a victory at Brentford this afternoon, whereas in the other game in the Premier League early kick-off, a brace from John Philip Mateta helped Crystal Palace beat Manchester United by 2-0 at Old Trafford this afternoon. There's been some other matches taking place, including some women's WSL matches, including a game between these two sides we've got featuring in the men's in the women's game earlier today. That was taking place at the Man City Academy Stadium, or the Joy Stadium. And earlier on in the WSL game between these two sides we've got this afternoon, it finished Man City 3, Arsenal 4, and Arsenal fans will be hoping that their side can repeat, the men's side that is, can repeat that scoreline against the Man City men. This evening we'll round up all the other scores for you a little bit later on this afternoon, including a couple of games going off right now in the Scottish Premiership. Ahead of kick-off then, we'll bring you the team news and any team changes that both teams have made for this game. And to give us that, and his warm welcome return after a break from commentary action on the channel, is a very good afternoon to Paul James.
Yes, very good afternoon, Ross. Very good afternoon, everybody. So, moderate changes by Arsenal, just a one. Martin Odegaard steps back in after his absence in the game against Wolves. Ethan Nwaneri returns to the bench there. Obviously, Miles Lewis-Skelly in the squad after that red card was overturned in that game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. For Manchester City, Stefan Ortega steps up in goal.
Repeat, we've just lost Paul there for just a moment. The two will try and get the connection back to Paul.
I'm back. I don't know what's going on with my mic. Let's try again.
Yes, the Man City changes, please.
Yes, so Stefan Ortega steps up in goal with Ederson, who is currently injured. Manuel Akanji steps in for Abdulkadir Kusanov due to his performance last week. It wasn't the greatest. Savinho comes in for Ilkay Gundogan. So those are your changes for the two teams.
Thank you very much there, Paul. And Paul, this is going to be a big game today for both teams, especially in the title race. What are you expecting from this game today, and who do you think where the key battles will be?
Well, I think obviously in the midfield now with Omar Mamouche in that number 10 role, seems to be making the type of runs into the penalty area that they've been missing in recent weeks, and I think he could be very difficult for Arsenal to handle today. Well, he was they spent 75 million in bringing him to the Etihad Stadium, and he impressed last week in their game as well. So I think the battle between him in the midfield and possibly William Saliba could have an impact, and I think between whether or not City will win this game. For Arsenal, well, they just lack goal-scoring capability. I think the important role in the midfield played by Martin Odegaard is key. He needs to have one of his better games today and see if Arsenal can get a result out of this game today.
Yes, very much so. And Paul, just going to push it right now. Prediction: what do you reckon the final score is going to be?
Oh, it's a tight one, Ross. I want to say a draw 1-1, but I just can't help thinking City will probably win it. Just given that squad that they've got out there today, it's so strong in every area. I'm gonna say 2-0 Manchester City.
Thank you very much there, Paul. James, we'll be back with Paul very, very shortly for the kick-off with the teams almost getting ready to come out of the tunnel at the Emirates Stadium this afternoon. Kevin Benson is on, says, sorry for missing this today, but too busy celebrating. You'll listen tomorrow. Massive win for Leeds, he says. Yes, massive win for Leeds United yesterday in the Championship. 7-0 winners over Cardiff City. That's what you do to bounce back from a 0-0 draw against fellow promotion rivals Burnley. No, you don't follow it up by another 0-0 draw like Burnley did away at Fratton Park yesterday down on the south coast against Portsmouth in the Championship. Leeds demolished Cardiff City 7-0. Leeds were 2-0 up at half time in that game. 5 second half goals from the Whites sealed the victory there. With the teams getting ready to come out of the tunnel, almost set to come out onto the pitch right now. Let's leave that talking to one side. Emirates is celebrating the Palace win over Manchester United. Can also get a victory over Manchester City, or will City take the spoils in this game this afternoon? Time for me to hand over to match commentator Paul James.
Thank you very much, Ross. Welcome everybody, and it is the big one of the weekend, the marquee matchup between Arsenal and Manchester City at the Emirates Stadium. Both these sides have been in some interesting form lately. Arsenal, well, they have 3 wins out of 5. For Manchester City, they've bounced back now with 4 wins out of 5. But looking at the 2 lineups today, both sides putting out their strongest possible lineup. Let's take a look at the lineup, starting with the home team, Arsenal. They have David Raya in goal, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Gabriel, William Saliba and Jurrien Timber are your back 4. Declan Rice, Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard, the captain, on the midfield. Leandro Trossard, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Martinelli leading the line. For Manchester City, well, they've had some bad news with Ederson currently unfit, but Stefan Ortega steps up in goal. Josko Gvardiol, Manuel Akanji, John Stones, Mateus Nunes are the back 4. The 2 holding midfielders are Mateo Kovacic and the captain, Bernardo Silva. The 3 behind Erling Haaland are Savinho, Omar Mamouche, £75 million signing from Eintracht Frankfurt, and Phil Foden. And of course, Erling Haaland leading the line, looking to add to his 18 goals this season. For Arsenal, on the substitutes bench, they have Brazilian goalkeeper Neto, Kieran Tierney, Jakub Kivior, Alexander Zinchenko, Ricardo Calafiore, who makes a bench despite his winning goal against Wolves last week, Jorginho, Mikel Morena, Ethan Nwaneri and Raheem Sterling. An all-star pack bench for the Citizens with Scott Carson as a backup goalkeeper, Vita Rice, Abdulkadir Kusanov, Rico Lewis, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, James McAtee and Nico O'Reilly. So Arsenal looking to continue their winning ways. They are through to the top 8 in the Champions League with the victory over Girona in the week. Manchester City having to settle for the playoffs. Looks like Arsenal will likely meet Inter in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. These 2 teams have met each other a total of 212 times, with Arsenal still having the advantage. 100 victories for Arsenal, 47 draws and 65 losses. And well, our referee today is from Lancashire. His name is Peter Banks. The assistants are Eddie Smart, Nick Greenhall, Anthony Taylor's on fourth official, Paul Tierney in VAR, and Craig Taylor is his assistant. Well, we already had some questionable decisions going through VAR already in this past weekend, and let alone the past couple of weeks. Arsenal hit with charges despite Miles Lewis-Skelly's offside decision being overturned, red card being overturned in the game against Wolves. Arsenal still given a misconduct charge for surrounding the referee, and a few Arsenal fans that I know were scratching their head at that decision. Just waiting now for the referee to gather the players at the centre circle, both sides wearing their traditional kits. Arsenal in their red and white jerseys, white shorts and red socks. Manchester City in their sky blue jerseys, white shorts and white socks. And we're about to get this game underway for what is the marquee matchup of the weekend. City, they know a win today could really cement their position in the top four when it looked for a while like they were slipping down the league. You can never rule out Pep Guardiola. As a manager, he's a genius, and he can turn this situation around. And he appears to have done that, and will be looking for a victory today. Mikel Arteta will want to keep the pressure on Liverpool at the top of the league. So another victory over Manchester City would be most welcome. Manchester City about to get the game underway here. Phil Foden just standing over the ball. And Chris Kavanagh, our referee, is just going to blow a whistle here. It's actually going to be Bernardo Silva who's going to get the game underway. He goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Stefan Ortega, who launches it downfield as City are attacking the goal to our left. That's cleared out of play by Gabriel. And it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City, level with the Arsenal penalty area. Or is that they've given it the other way? Well, it looks like they've given it the other way. That looked like a throw-in to Arsenal, but it's been a throw-in to Manchester City, but it has been given the other way. And it's going to be taken by Miles Lewis-Skelly. Goes for the long throw. It's flicked on by Declan Rice. Odegaard wins the ball back to Rice. Tries to flick the ball, looking for Martinelli. And coming forward now is Kai Havertz. He gets the shot away. It's a first effort on goal in this game. It took under a minute, but it was straight into the arms of Stefan Ortega. He releases the ball to Josko Gvardiol. Into the midfield to Omar Mamouche. It's played forward though, and winning the ball back is Gabriel. He tries to clear the ball out only as far as Miles Lewis-Skelly, but that's really good play by Phil Foden, just shielding Miles Lewis-Skelly out of the way and allowing the ball to roll out of play for a Manchester City throw-in. Looks like Gabriel has got duties on Erling Haaland today. An extremely, if you will, gargantuous task, and one that is very, very unwanted, I would suggest, by most Premier League defenders. As the ball is back with Stefan Ortega. He releases the ball to John Stones. Stones plays the ball across. The ball is given away, and a real chance for Kai Havertz. 1-on-1. It's Odegaard. It's 1-0 Arsenal, and we're inside 2 minutes. And Arsenal have taken the lead. And it's Martin Odegaard. Well, that was sloppy defending by Manuel Akanji that led to that goal. Oh my goodness me. If the earth could open up and swallow him, he'd take it right now. But that was very, very sloppy play. And the pass across by Kai Havertz to Martin Odegaard, scoring there. And Arsenal, well, we take a look at it here, and it's Manuel Akanji's pass. Not Manuel Akanji's pass, rather. It was passed to Manuel Akanji. And he was dispossessed immediately by Kai Havertz. John Stones passed it to Akanji. Akanji just lost possession of it. It broke loose to Declan Rice, who played the ball to Kai Havertz, and Havertz just squared the ball to Martin Odegaard. Nobody close enough. Took a deflection off John Stones, but it was going in anyway. And Arsenal are in the lead, and Manchester City behind already. Martin Odegaard. Well, that's Martin Odegaard's. Let's take a look here. That's Odegaard's only his second goal of the season this season for the Arsenal captain, for Martin Odegaard. Now, we got some comments in the comments section, and I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, so I'm going to look at him now. Good afternoon, Paul and Russ. Well, I do think Arsenal will win this match as they're continuing to win their games, but I'm not 100% that we'll win. City could create a shock at the Emirates this afternoon. Well, certainly a possibility. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us today, all of you. Please feel free to comment, and I'll do my best to read them out. Just keep it nice and clean. We are a family show. Thank you so much. The ball is back with Gabriel now. And back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya releases the ball just to the edge of the area here to William Saliba. It's back with Gabriel. And back to the goalkeeper once again as David Raya releases the ball to Odegaard. Now it's Arsenal's turn just to dilly-dally on the edge of the box. And perhaps they shouldn't be doing this, but here's Odegaard. He releases the ball forward to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Here's Gabriel. Back to Odegaard, midway inside his own half of the field. Odegaard holds the ball up. And it's Odegaard just no pressure really, or press from City at the moment. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly again. He's got options forward, and he lifts the ball up, looking for... that's dropped back there. And to Leandro Trossard. Trossard still forward now. He's got Nunez in front of him, and the challenge from Bernardo Silva puts the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City, level with their own penalty area. It's taken short to Bernardo Silva. He clears the ball up into the air. Chasing this one is Thomas Partey. He heads the ball back up into the air. Kai Havertz trying to bring this one down. Good work by the German. Gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard slipped through to Martinelli! Oh, is it in there? It is! It's 2-0 to Arsenal! And Gabriel Martinelli. Oh, the offside flag is up. The offside flag is up. Well, that was brilliant by Arsenal, though. But he is offside. Yes, he's offside by quite some distance. And it was a brilliant move by the Gunners, though, between Odegaard and Martinelli. And and nearly punished for a second time, but the goal is disallowed. And it's back now with John Stones. Cleared short. Back again to John Stones, and it's played forward to Gvardiol. Gvardiol to Bernardo Silva. And media radio jingles and gaming says that would have been a fantastic goal had it not been offside. Indeed, that is the case. Well, it really was a super finish as well by Martinelli, but the goal does not stand. And here's Bernardo Silva, just gives the ball out to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol holds the ball up, and he reaches there for Savinho. Savinho just drops the ball back into his own half to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic across there. And here's Manuel Akanji again. Akanji plays the ball forward to Foden. Back to Akanji. Kovacic holds the ball up in the middle of the park, gives the ball to Gvardiol. Gvardiol picked up there by the number 7 for Manchester City, Omar Mamouche. He drops the ball back into his own half, and it's a cross now. Akanji holds the ball up. And it's now with the number 24 here for City, Josko. Phil Foden is back with Manuel Akanji, just in the middle of the park. City just knocking the ball about patiently right now. Kovacic. And there's a good ball to Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball to Savinho. Drops the ball back there. Long ball forward there by John Stones, and he finds the number 27, Mateus Nunes. Nunes, corner of the penalty area for City. And he is actually in an offside position, and it's going to be a free kick for Arsenal. As it's a super ball, actually, here as well. This really was a superb pass, but as we look again at the goal, the poor play by Manuel Akanji, he just spent too much time on the ball and was given the ball away, and then Gabriel gets in the face of Erling Haaland and celebrates. Something as to what happened between those two players in the game at the Etihad Stadium earlier on this season. I guess those two haven't quite finished what they were having a beef about, as that ball is cleared forward and out of play. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to be a throw-in rather to Manchester City. It's taken quickly. Bernardo Silva just clears the ball forward, but actually that time the ball does go out of play again, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal this time. Pep Guardiola looking on, as the throw-in is going to be taken by Jurrien Timber. Timber just drops the ball there to Martin Odegaard inside the centre. In an offside position. And the free kick is taken quickly, as Manchester City now is going to be moving forward to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic goes down under the challenge from Odegaard, and the referee has given a free kick. Mateo Kovacic there, just caught late. As we take a look at Manuel Akanji just outside the centre circle. He's going to take this he hands the free kick over to Kovacic. Kovacic takes it and gives it to Akanji. And here's John Stones. We've had 10 minutes gone here. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0 if you're just joining us. An early goal by Martin Odegaard inside 2 minutes. The ball is played forward long now. Looking for Kai Havertz. That's tidied up at the back by Gavardio. Back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. Ortega releases the ball downfield. It's headed on by Mateus Nunes and put out of play by Bernardo Silva. And it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal midway inside the City half of the field, down that right-hand side, down that left-hand side, and it's back to the number 6, Gabriel. Gabriel, that's a good ball there to Havertz. Havertz releases the ball back to Gabriel, and it's with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard over the halfway line and plays the ball forward there to that looks like to Jurrien Timber, but it's intercepted that time. Well played by Savinho, coming back doing his defensive duties there is Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic just holds the ball up and drops the ball back to the Kovacic again, this time from John Stones. And here's Mateus Nunes. Drops the ball back to the number 5 there, John Stones. Stones holds the ball up in midfield. Drops the ball to Akanji. Akanji to Nunes. Nunes just drops the ball again, back into his own half of the field to Akanji. The ball is always a good ball forward there to the number 7, Mamouche there, but a good challenge by Thomas Partey, and he puts the ball out of play. And while there's a stoppage, I'm just going to see if I can correct my mic. Just give me a few moments here. Right, a little better. Sorry about that. It appears I've been having a lot of trouble with my mic early on, but here's Kai Havertz now for Arsenal. Havertz to Odegaard. Odegaard is dispossessed now, and Arsenal can come forward, but the referee has called for a foul on Kai Havertz. And, well, he was just taken down by Savinho there, but it is a free kick. And Arsenal just looking at the options that they've got going forward. And it's the referee just warning Omar Mamouche there, as he was protesting just a little bit too much. And it is to be taken, the free kick is to be taken by number 12 here, Jurien Timber. He drops the ball back to Gabriel via William Saliba. And back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. 13 minutes gone here. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. And here's Thomas Partey. And he just lays the ball forward to Odegaard. Partey holds the ball up. And the ball is played across there to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball back to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey holds the ball up here and gives it back to Odegaard. Arsenal just stepped their foot off the gas from the early play. Here's Leandro Trossard. He's got Nuno in front of him. Trossard skips inside, tries to get to the byline down that left-hand side. He cuts back Trossard to the corner of the penalty area. And is he fouled there? The referee says no. Play goes on. It's still with Arsenal, with Gabriel. He tries lifting the ball into Kai Havertz. But good work by John Stones just getting on the end of that. And Trossard is in an offside position and he's yelling at the referee. Not sure that really is a good idea. And I think it was really because of the early challenge on Trossard from Mateus Nunes. I actually think Trossard goes down a little bit easy here, to be honest. Yes, it's just a hand on the shoulder. You've got to be stronger than that. And down he goes anyway, but it's going to be a free. It's going to be, play is going to continue. And it's back with Stefan Ortega. Ortega just clears the ball downfield. 15 minutes gone. The header is won by Thomas Partey. Picked up by Gabriel Martinelli. Had a goal disallowed in this game. And really was a super build-up play by Arsenal that led to that disallowed goal. Miles Lewis-Skelly. And the ball is back to Gabriel. Gabriel releases it to William Saliba. And 1-0 is the score if you are just joining us at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. City with all of the possession, but they haven't done anything with it. 66% possession, 2 shots on goal for Arsenal, none for Manchester City so far. Arsenal's defence holding up very, very well. Here's Thomas Partey. Partey releases the ball to Gabriel. It's good work by Gabriel to Odegaard. Odegaard is dispossessed, so Mamouche brings the ball down and gives it to Foden. Foden runs right into Thomas Partey, and Arsenal win the ball back. Here's Partey now for Arsenal. It's a good ball down the right-hand side to Kai Havertz. Havertz operating now down the right-hand side, overlapping is Jurien Timber. Can he get the cross in? Pulled back to Thomas Partey. The ball is across there to Miles Lewis-Skelly, and he gives the ball to Declan Rice. Patient build-up by Arsenal. And it's with Leandro Trossard. He's got Nunes in front of him this time. He tries to play the ball through there to Martinelli, but that was well read by Stefan Ortega. Got out quickly and got down there to grab a hold of the ball. Stefan Ortega is now going to release the ball downfield. Or is he going to go short? We'll see. He's got the ball on the floor and already closing in is Leandro Trossard, forcing Ortega to release the ball quickly. Only lands as far as an Arsenal player. It's Martin Odegaard in that midfield, but City win the ball back. And it's Bernardo Silva now. And he's got Savinho overlapping on the left-hand side. Savinho pulled the ball into the middle to Mamouche. Mamouche with a strike, but it is over and wide. It's a first real effort at goal. It wasn't on goal, but it was the first effort by the Citizens with 18 minutes gone here. Earlier on today, Tottenham Hotspur recovered with a 2-0 victory over Brentford. Manchester United, well, it's been a funny old season for them. They lose 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace. It's cleared downfield by David Raya. The ball in the air was won by Savinho, but it's broken loose. And here is John Stones. Stones picks up the ball and gives it to Gvardiol. Gvardiol gives the ball to Kovacic. Kovacic turns well away from Martin Odegaard and drops the ball back. And it's Bernardo Silva in possession now. He's basically going at walking pace now, as this game has slowed right down in terms of pace, with both sides opting to just take a patient approach. Here's John Stones. Mamouche drops it back there to Gavardio. Back to Stones. Just plays the ball there to Kovacic. Kovacic infield there to Phil Foden. And there's a good ball by John Stones, looking for Gavardio, but that is out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. And there is Pep Guardiola, looking to try to get his side forward here, try to create some chances with all the possession that they've had. Here's Jurrien Timber. Oh, he drops and puts the ball out of play under the pressure from Omar Mamouche. And it may have come off Mamouche, and it will be a throw to Arsenal. Jurrien Timber is going to take it. And, well, it's a packed house here at the Emirates, but they're not being treated to a great deal of entertainment so far. Besides the early goal and the disallowed goal, both sides have opted for a very patient, standoffish approach. And here is Leandro Trossard. Trossard is dispossessed, and here comes Phil Foden coming forward, and he is dispossessed by Gabriel. And now maybe Arsenal can come on the break. And it's a long ball down this left-hand side, down the right-hand side. It's kept in well by Gabriel Martinelli. But Gavardio cuts across and wins that back and gives it to Savinho. Savinho to Kovacic, midway inside his own half of the field. And here's Bernardo Silva, wearing the captain's armband today. Sprays the ball over to the right-hand side to Mateus Nunes. Nunes over the halfway line. He holds the ball up. And he just drops the ball back into his own half of the field. And long ball there. Over to Savinho, really super pass from Mamouche. It's back to Gavardio, and here's Kovacic again. Kovacic back to Gavardio. Arsenal trying to hold tight here against a possible City offence. Good ball by Kovacic. Down the right-hand side to by Akanji to Nunes. Back to Akanji. Here's Foden. Foden now, back to Nunes. Nunes has got some space in front of him to get across, and if he wants, he holds the ball back and pulls it back to Foden. Back to John Stones. Back to Akanji. We've had 21 minutes gone here, still 1-0. City just camping out in the Arsenal half of the field at the moment, keeping possession, but not really creating anything. Here's Stones again, and once again he plays it over to Nunes. Nunes brings the ball down well. He's down that right-hand side, just by the touchline. He drops the ball back again to Akanji. Akanji is probably going to go back to Nunes again. It's the only real option. Nunes holds the ball back and drops the ball back to Foden. Can Foden get the cross in here? Yes, he can. It's headed out that time by William Saliba. Headed down by Kovacic and hooked in towards the area by Gavardio, but it's picked up well by Omar Mamouche. Was he fouled there? The referee said, well, the referee didn't give anything apart from playing on. So City still maintain possession of the balls. It's John Stones, as Arsenal trying to press City a little bit, but at the same time standing off them and allowing them to play their game. Here's Savinho. Savinho holds the ball up, and here's Kovacic. Kovacic got options left and right. Long ball over on the far side to Nunes, down that right-hand side. And Nunes gets the cross in. Up towards the back post, looking for Bernardo Silva, but heading that ball out of play well was Jurrien Timber, and it's going to be a corner for Manchester City, their first of the game. As the cross came in there from Mateus Nunes, corner of the penalty area, left that and right-hand side. It's good work by Timber, because that was going right to the back post to Bernardo Silva. So the corner is going to be taken by Omar Mamouche. And let's see how well Arsenal can defend corners, as they can just as easily score them. Let's see. Cross coming in, and the heads go. Oh my word, that was a super save by Raya. He palmed it up into the air, and it landed on the crossbar, perhaps deserving a little bit of luck now, the Spaniard. We'll go back to that in a moment. The corner came in from Mamouche, and it was a super delivery. And the header was by Gavardio, and what a save it was by David Raya. But it landed on the crossbar and bounced away from Erling Haaland. So easily that could have gone to the big Norwegian. But still 1-1. Still 1-0 rather. And here is Mamouche again. Plays the ball through to Savinho, who puts it into the side netting. As for the first time in this game, we've seen Omar Mamouche making those inspired runs towards the penalty area. But the corner here, and this is what you pay £75 million for. It was right onto the head of Gavardio, a super save by David Raya. Super reaction save. And Arsenal breathe again. It's cleared downfield, up in the air. It's Martin Odegaard to try to bring that ball down. But cutting in and winning that ball back there was Stones, and he plays the ball forward for a foul on Mamouche, but City play on. Here's Savinho. Savinho gets across to the back post, looking for Erling Haaland. Well played by Miles Lewis-Skelly, really playing the big Norwegian well there, and in the end forcing him to foul Miles Lewis-Skelly. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. I've been very impressed with Miles Lewis-Skelly and his start to his Arsenal career, and I think Arsenal have got, and England potentially have got, a superstar in the future there. But it's going to be a free kick for Arsenal for the time being. 25 minutes gone, it is still 1-0 to the Gunners as they're holding off Manchester City. City now starting to come more into this game. David Raya is just going to take his time here now. He's got the option there of Martin Odegaard short. He decides to go long. Looks for the header Kai Havertz, but that's comfortably won there by John Stones. And that finds Omar Mamouche, and Mamouche goes down. And he's waving his hand for a yellow card. And I'm not sure that's a good idea, but I think a yellow card is coming out for that challenge. And I think it would rightly be a yellow card. Yes, it's Jurrien Timber. I actually think that's a perfectly reasonable decision. Yellow card then for Jurrien Timber, as he's the first name in the referee's notebook today. And Arsenal, well, they haven't really created much since that second goal was ruled out, and they're backing off and letting City play a lot of their game here. And City really have started to come into their own as this first half has progressed. It's back with the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. Oh, Ortega, it's given away! And here's a chance for Kai. Oh, it's missed! Oh, my goodness me! Kai Havertz! What an opportunity! And it all came about from another error in the Manchester City defence. This time the goalkeeper played a suicide pass, really, to Kovacic. And the sliding challenge was won by Declan Rice. It fell to Kai Havertz. All he had to do was put it in the corner, and he puts it wide. And Arsenal may well look back at that chance. Well, there'll be questions asked once again of Kai Havertz. Here is William Saliba, and it's a good ball there to Leandro Trossard. So Arsenal squander yet another opportunity. Here is Martinelli now. Martinelli gets across to the back post, and a good header won there by Matheus Nunes. Just puts that behind for a corner. And, well, what an opportunity for Kai Havertz. Goodness me. The ball is behind. So Arsenal setting up their normal corner routine here. So we have Luke Turton in the chat. Hi, Luke. Havertz has to score that. Has to. Absolutely correct. What a chance. And he puts it wide. But it's a corner for Arsenal now. Let's see if they can get something from this. Declan Rice is going to take it. And the ball is going to be swung into the 6-yard box as usual. Comes in from Declan Rice. The heads go up. It's won there by Gavardio. Back to the edge of the area. Shot by Odegaard is blocked. And Arsenal still maintain possession. And just holding this ball up well. There was... I'm just trying to see who that was. That looked like... Jurrien Timber there. Odegaard is down from that shot. You see there was, or was it from the shoulder? I don't know. He has had ankle trouble this season, Martin Odegaard. So, and he landed just a little bit awkwardly there. But he is down on his haunches at the moment. as there is Erling Haaland just giving some advice to Bernardo Silva. Odegaard back on his feet now. Looks like he's okay. But what a chance as we look at this again. Oh, he's got the entire goal to aim at. And puts it wide in one of the worst finishes I have seen by any Premier League player this season. That is, wow. Arsenal could well come back and live to regret that. And it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel gives it to Thomas Partey. Partey, he's done well to hold up the ball there. Mamouche looking to put him under pressure, and he gives the ball to Declan Rice. Rice drops the ball to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Skelly holds the ball up and gives the ball back there to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard just inside the centre circle. He's got options. He decides to go to Leandro Trossard down the left-hand side. Oh, a good move by Trossard, beating Nunes there. Bit of space now for Leandro Trossard. Checks back. And Trossard just holds the ball up, gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard down there to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Skelly just holds the ball up and drops it back there to Gabriel. Odegaard lifts the ball forward for Miles Lewis-Skelly, but that's just a bit too far in front of him, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. We've had 30 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium, and the only thing I can say is Arsenal with a 1-goal lead. They've had 1 goal disallowed from Gabriel Martinelli, and an opportunity that strikers pray to the footballing gods every day for, that was put wide. And so Arsenal have had their chances. City really creating just the one opportunity, forcing a fantastic save out of David Raya. Stefan Ortega now with the goal kick, long downfield. Looks like it may just go out of play, and it'll be a throw-in for Arsenal on the halfway line. Stefan Ortega coming into his own a little bit this season. He's been able to step in a few times, given the situation with Ederson, who's had his injury problems this season. And he's currently running at currently running at only a 1.25 goals against average, and a save percentage of 73.5%. That's actually higher than Ederson right now. So that's headed out of play by John Stones. So there's promising news for Stefan Ortega, who was in the last Nations League. He was called up for Germany, so we'll see if that continues to happen for him. He's shown himself to be a quality goalkeeper. Mateo Kovacic now gets brought down, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City, which they wanted to take quickly. Mike Harneman says, why is Havertz so crap? Mike, that is the burning question that philosophers have been asking for years. I have no idea how he missed that opportunity. No idea in my mind. And coming forward now is Omar Mamouche over the halfway line. And Mamouche cutting inside. He drops the ball back there to Mateo Kovacic. Back to Mamouche. Here's Foden. Mamouche again. And it's now with Foden one more time. He swings across in, and it's a good block there. William Saliba goes down. Looks like he's taken one in the gut. And he's a bit winded at the moment. Phil Foden trying to help him up. And he's just down. He's going to be down for a few minutes if he's been winded. It'll take him a little while just to get his head back together. Good goal for Modi, but it should be 3-0. Yes, certainly should be. The chances have been there. Other results today, looks like it's going to be a free kick here to Manchester City, but other results today: Brentford 0, Spurs 0, Palace 0, Palace 2, Manchester United 0, and it's a corner actually, and it's Omar Mamouche swings that ball in. Oh, and it just bounces into the into the arms of the goalkeeper, and that was quite lucky, really. Omar Mamouche, that's his second delivery from a corner. And he's delivered some really good corners at this time. Here is Bernardo Silva just inside his own half of the field. Here now is Bernardo Silva again. He drops the ball back to Manuel Akanji. and it's back with John Stones. Kevin Benson, hi, how's it going? Only reason for me to cheer for Goons is to give Liverpool some competition, otherwise EPL is already decided. And the ball is out wide now to Mateus Nunes. Nunes holds the ball up, drops the ball back to Manuel Akanji. City moving forward with intent. Here's John Stones. Lifts the ball forward to Nunes again. Nunes has Miles Lewis-Skelly in front of him. Nunes swings that cross in. The head goes up in the air. It's Gabriel gets the ball out to the edge of the area. City still trying to bring the ball under control. Header was won by Kai Havertz there. Is alleged to have been fouled. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Phil Foden questioning whether that was a foul. Let's just take a look at it again. Akanji goes up with Havertz. There's nothing in that, you know? There's nothing in that. Kai Havertz goes down holding the back of his head. And he's back up on his feet and he's just fine now. The free kick has been given. Mike says that save from Raya though was immense. Indeed it was. What a superb save. Skelly playing well as well. Here is Gabriel, launches the ball forward. Chasing this one down is Leandro Trossard. And Nunes, I think, is just going to shield that ball as it goes behind for a goal kick. And Arsenal will try, Manchester City rather, will try again from the back. It's not been the most exciting watch, I can tell you that, but what we have seen is goals and some opportunities from either side, and there is still only one goal in this, which means it is still very much game on. As it's picked up by Mateo Kovacic, he dispossesses Kai Havertz. The ball is played forward to Phil Foden. Foden has got Nunes overlapping. This is an opportunity now for Manchester City. Here's Nunes. Oh, good challenge by Miles Lewis-Skelly, who's done such a good job on that left-hand side. And he's storming forward with an inspired run. It's not Lewis-Skelly. Gives the ball now to Kai Havertz, who's now over on the left-hand side for some reason. Kai Havertz drops the ball back. And it's now with Leandro Trossard. Holds the ball up and back to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball now to Miles Lewis-Skelly again. It's back now with Declan Rice. Declan Rice to Gabriel. Gabriel just looking for options. Odegaard is waving his arms away. And here is Trossard again. He goes back to Havertz one more time. And yes, agreed, Mike. He's now becoming a must pick. I absolutely agree with you. He's been very impressive in this game so far. Here's Jurrien Timber. Arsenal being pressed back to the halfway line. Here's Martin Odegaard. Odegaard tries to play the ball through there to Gabriel Martinelli, and it goes straight through to the goalkeeper. Martinelli appealing after he was caught there, but the ball was well away from Martinelli. Nowhere near a penalty for me. Here's John Stones coming forward now for Manchester City, and it's Phil Foden back to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball to Omar Mamouche now, coming forward for Manchester City. The £75 million man tries to play the ball forward, looking for Phil Foden. It's intercepted by Thomas Partey. And it's with Jurrien Timber. And it's back to the number 2 here, William Saliba for Arsenal. Here's Thomas Partey. We've had 37 minutes gone here at the Emirates Stadium. And Arsenal still holding on to the 1-goal lead. The reverse fixture at the Etihad was 2-2. So that's a good ball by Trossard forward to Kai Havertz. Havertz control, just let him down for a moment. He keeps possession and drops it back to Declan Rice. And here's Martin Odegaard. Good ball down this right-hand side now to Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli across there to Odegaard. Odegaard to Partey. Good ball by Partey there, held up by Gabriel, and it goes back to Saliba. A nice pass to Thomas Partey inside the centre circle. Partey goes back to Saliba, and here's Jurrien Timber. Arsenal maintaining possession. Just game management at the moment for Arsenal. They're not really getting forward or really creating much, but now maybe there's it's a poor ball by Gabriel, and that goes straight through to Mateus Nunes. Nunes just shields the ball, gives it to Mateo Kovacic. It's now with Manuel Akanji. Across to John Stones. John Stones just goes back to the goalkeeper, Ortega. Ortega releases it now to John Stones. Just looking for options left and right. He just doesn't appear to be finding much. There's Josko Gavardio right there. He decides to shield the ball and go back to the goalkeeper again, as Haaland has found himself very isolated in this first half. Mike says Havertz needs to come off at half-time. I put Trossard or Martinelli up top and put Nwaneri on. I actually think that's a good call, Michael. I don't think Trossard has done well at all in this game. Here is Phil Foden from Manchester City, just midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. Here's Manuel Akanji. He goes long towards the left-hand side. That's a good pass to Josko Gavardio. Super ball, in fact. He drops the ball back now to Mamouche. Is Mamouche going to launch the ball into the box? He decides not to. Gives the ball to Kovacic instead. Kovacic across to Manuel Akanji. Akanji, there's a good ball there to Nunes. Nunes, well, he's got Savinho alongside him there, but he decides to go back to Akanji again. Here's Foden one more time. Foden just midway inside the Manchester City, the Arsenal half of the field, and nobody's really pressing him. And Mamouche, fortunately for Arsenal, was not able to control the ball properly, and Arsenal now can go on the break. And here is Kai Havertz now for Arsenal. He's just down the right-hand side. He's moving towards the middle now. Overlapping here is Timber. He gives the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard, dispossessed is Odegaard by Mateo Kovacic. And we've got a comment from my producer, Russ. I'll play that forward. The ball is played through by Kovacic to Savinho. Corner in the penalty area. Left-hand side. Crossed in by Savinho to Haaland, who headed the ball down. It was cleared away by Partey, but only as far as Savinho again on the edge of the area. He's dispossessed so by Havertz. Havertz releases the ball to, not Havertz rather, Odegaard to Saliba. Saliba tried to find Trossard, but it was straight to the number 24, Gavardio. Here's Savinho now for City. Back to Gavardio. Gavardio down the right-hand side to Savinho. And here is the number 8, Kovacic. And he drops it back to the number 5 there for City, John Stones. He's over the halfway line now. Arsenal just not pressing City. They're allowing City to play their game. And there is no press at all from the Arsenal team. And I'm not sure how wise that is to let City play around with a ball like this. Here's Nunes. Nunes drops the ball back to Foden. Foden across to Stones. City now have numbers in the Arsenal half of the penalty, the Arsenal half of the field. And it's back to John Stones, and I'll get to the comments in a moment. And here is Bernardo Silva now for Manchester City, still holding the ball up well. Bernardo Silva cuts back to Phil Foden. Foden lifts the ball over the top, looking for Gavardio. Gavardio swings across in. Oh, and Real was launching at it. And eventually it's just hacked out of play by Gabriel. And it's a throw-in for Manchester City. And Russ says Havertz has been shocking in the first half, some of the chances he's had. Russ actually feels he could have scored one or two of those. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Oh, he's dispossessed, and it's fouled. He's given a free kick for a foul by Phil Foden on Miles Lewis-Skelly. Mike says, be interesting to see if we sign anyone tomorrow. We desperately need to, but I feel we've left it too late. Luke says, does Havertz need finishing lessons from the Forest and League squad? And Stevenage, says Mike. Well, from just about anybody, I would say. Here is Thomas Partey for Arsenal. And it's across to William Saliba. Kevin Benson says you can have Nketiah back. Rest of the squad plays for Palace. We will throw Holding in for 3. Right. And it's back with the goalkeeper Gavin Raya. Raya just holds the ball up. He's got the ball inside the D, just of his own penalty area here, and he just releases the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up, and it's with Declan Rice.
And the ball is played back to David Raya. It's 2 minutes to go till half-time. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. And it's with Odegaard. Oh, it's a poor pass by Odegaard. And it's straight to Savinio. And that's a wonderful challenge by Odegaard, coming back and winning that ball back. And that's a captain's mentality right there. And here's Jurrien Timber now for Arsenal. And he plays the ball forward. He's looking there for Leandro Trossard. It was comfortably won by John Stones. And now Gavardio gives the ball to Phil Foden. It's back to Kovacic, to Haaland. It is Foden again. Foden, it's just a good ball to Bernardo Silva. Out to Nunes. Can Nunes get the cross into the back post? Savinio is waiting. Falls to him inside the penalty area. It's a shot, and it's a good save again by David Raya. Super save again by the Spaniard. A couple of good saves in this first half by him. His Akanji plays the ball out to Savinio again. He swings across in Savinio to the back post. It's still in play. And it's crossed back in by Nunes, looking for Mamouche. Back to the edge of the area to Kovacic, who gets a volley away, but he doesn't connect very well. And it just bounces up into the air again. But that came off the head of Saliba to Savinio, and it took a deflection as well. It didn't make things any easier for Raya, but a super save by David Raya. And Arsenal maintain their 1-goal lead. Here's Thomas Partey to Gabriel as we approach stoppage time at the end of the first half here at the Emirates Stadium. People just leaving their seats now, going to the refreshment stand. And here's Declan Rice. Rice plays the ball long, looking for Martinelli, but that's a good header one by Josko Gavardiol. And dealing with this now at the back is Savinio as well, under pressure from Martin Odegaard. Savinio just going back there, drops the ball to John Stones. Havertz putting some pressure on Stones. Stones turns Havertz and gives the ball to Savinio. Savinio plays the ball forward, and this time Haaland is dispossessed by William Saliba. And Saliba, just under the pressure of Haaland, manages to play the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper. We have 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half, and we've got about 30 seconds of that left. Just the 1 goal is the difference in this first half. The goal on 2 minutes by Martin Odegaard. Martinelli, of course, a disallowed goal. The ball is played over on the far side now here to Nunes. Nunes just drops the ball to Akanji. Here's Omar Mamouche, back to Akanji. Akanji's error that led to Odegaard's goal. And the cross was trying to be crossed in by Silva, but it was cleared away by Martin Odegaard. And at half-time here at the Emirates Stadium, it's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Arsenal's goal came on 2 minutes from an error from Manuel Akanji that left a simple tap-in for Odegaard. A goal disallowed for Gabriel Martinelli for offside. City hit the crossbar from a fabulous save from David Raya. And another save towards the end of the first half from Savinio's shot. But Arsenal still hold on to the lead at half-time. It's 1-0. Back to you, Ross.
Thank you very much there, Paul. We're back with Paul in plenty of time to discuss that first half performance from both sides. And we'll also get his thoughts going into the second half. We're just going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, I'll recap all the earliest scores from the Premier League action from today, and also some of the Scottish Premiership action as well. Join us very shortly for some half-time scores and other scores and results from around the grounds on this Sunday afternoon football. Welcome back to Premier League on Sunday afternoons. Premier League Live is Arsenal against Manchester City this afternoon in the Premier League, and a big game that we've got today here. Brilliant game so far in terms of the way both teams have set up. Arsenal defensively resolute. City trying to cause them a few problems. We'll also have their noses in front in this football match at half-time thanks to Martin Odegaard's second-minute strike. We'll keep you across the rest of the second half in this game very shortly. We'll get you the results coming, give you the scores, and try to get some reaction from some of the earlier games as well in today's Premier League matches if we can. Let me bring you the scores though from the earlier Premier League matches today, and I can tell you in the Premier League it finished Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 2, and as you know at half time in our featured match is Arsenal 1, Man City 0. In the Scottish Premiership it finished Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, and Rangers 4, Ross County 0. In the WSL full-time scorelines: Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1, Brighton of Albion 1, Crystal Palace 1, Everton 4, Leicester City 1, Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0, and Manchester City 3, Arsenal 4 in the Women's Super League. EFL League 1, Bristol Rovers 3, Peterborough United 1. Scottish Women's Scottish Cup, Aberdeen 3, Hamilton Academicals 0, Glasgow City 3, Celtic 2, Spartans 6, Kilmarnock 0, St Johnstone 4, Elgin City 2, Dundee United 1, Bummuir Thistle 3, Falkirk 0, Arts 9, Rangers 7, Montrose 0, Motherwell against Bonnyrigg Rose, 4 p.m. kickoff. Women's Championship, Charlton versus Blackburn Rovers, match postponed. Portsmouth 0, London City Lionesses 1, Sheffield United 1, Durham 1, Southampton 2, Newcastle United 2, Sunderland 0, Birmingham City 1. Spanish La Liga, Barcelona 1, Deportivo Alaves 0, Valencia 2, Celta Vigo 1. German Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Wolfsburg 1, Bayer Leverkusen 2, Hoffenheim 0 is a half-time score. Italian Serie A, Juventus 4, Empoli 1, Fiorentina 2, Genoa 1, AC Milan 0 to Milan 0 is the latest score, with Roma against Napoli, evening kickoff at 7:45. That's some of the scores there for you this evening and this afternoon in the matches so far taking place. Today we'll keep you up to date with that, and we'll try and bring you right now. We can give you some reaction to Manchester United's defeat to Crystal Palace this afternoon in their Premier League match in just a moment. We'll just bring you that reaction. And we can hear now from Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim, who saw his side falter in a 2-0 home defeat to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. And we can bring you what Ruben Amorim had to say now. He's speaking to the BBC after the game today.
Well, Ruben, what's your assessment? Obviously, immediately it's disappointment.
Of course, and during the game, I felt that the team did some things well. We had more possession, more control of the game. We created some chances. but then we suffered 2 goals that we can avoid. That two goals is really disappointed the game today. But we take something from the performance, not from the result.
Something's good, something's bad. It's been the story of many games. What questions will you be asking of the players after this?
So I think it's normal. This is a little a hard season in this moment, a hard moment, because we are trying, and you feel it. The players are trying. We try different things to control the game, to improve certain things from the last game, and you feel it. But then when you don't win games and you are in that roller coaster of results, of momentum, it's hard, especially at home. But we need to move forward and to think about the next game.
That attacking system that you employed today, did you see some good things from it, and what needed to be better from it?
Of course, a lot in the team. It has to be so much better, but we control better the game. I feel we had more possession, more connections. Sometimes the ball goes inside and between lines, and then return with quality, give us more time to think of the plays. We create chances, because that is the crucial thing for us. But we couldn't score, and that was a difference today.
It's understandable if confidence suffers when things like that happen to the team. But just at the moment, do you think it's almost easier playing away than here? Is there an extra pressure?
Today I didn't feel that, but of course you have in this moment is hard to play here, but because the expectations are different and we want to please our fans, you have that feeling that we need to win, of course, more games at home. But like I said, this season, since the day one, I said that this season is going to be like that. We have to take the good things from the performance, forget a little bit the result. I know it's really tough, and then prepare the next one. We are going to do that.
And 1 day left of the window. Is it going to be a busy Monday for you, or is that down to other people to do?
No. That is with a lot of people in our club. I will think about the next game. Is really important for us.
There is the thoughts of Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim after his side fell to a 2-0 defeat at home to Crystal Palace this afternoon. The Manchester United boss there speaking with the BBC in that game there. I read out a few scores at half time, and my responded with 9-0. Can they teach Havertz? That's in response to Arts women winning 9-0 earlier today in their match this afternoon. Kevin Benson says, like watching Test cricket, Man U v Palace was a bit more exciting. He also believes Saka is such a loss as well. The media radio jingles, the game has been on, says, well, looking at this game and previous Arsenal matches, Havertz has played pretty terribly. He had a few his chances but couldn't score. So I don't think he should play another 45 minutes. Kevin Benson said, you've heard me screaming from New Zealand when Mateta scored. Water back from injury and so good. Henderson in England team for a reason, says regarding Dean Henderson. And just looking there, Paul, and Manchester United losing again today. Just before we come speak about this game you're covering today, what do you think the problems have been for Manchester United this season?
Well, I've said it's not just this season. It's been the last several seasons. The problems are the players and the ownership, particularly the ownership. The ownership is a cancer at Old Trafford, not just to Manchester United, but to football in general in the way that they do things. They need to go, and the players need to be cleared out. Those that don't have the right mentality to be playing for Manchester United, whether or not they have the ability or not is irrelevant, but whether or not they have the right mentality. And by that I mean they need to understand who they're playing for. They're playing for, by all accounts, one of, or if not the biggest club in the world. And they play like they are, I don't know, they play like they don't care. Like it means nothing to them. If you play for a team like Manchester United or Liverpool or Arsenal or Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, whoever, you have made it as a footballer. You have made it to the highest level in your industry. So, but they play like they don't care.
And I think they've done that for quite I think they've done that quite a bit now, Paul, in recent, compared to not just since Emirates come in, they've played like under Ten Hag. And a lot of people thought they just wanted Ten Hag out and still playing like that. Maybe these bigger problems of Manchester United than just the players and the management team, and just switching away from that momentarily back to our focus match in the Premier League this afternoon. Arsenal won up at half time. City have been probing with some chances. Arsenal have been probing chances at both ends, but defences have been cancelling both strikers. How do you feel? We could see it finish 1-0 at half time, at full time, should I say? Or do you see them being more goals in this one, Paul?
Well, I can see there being more goals. When you look at the attacking talent that City have got on the bench, Arsenal, well, we know that they're capable of getting goals. And you never know. There can certainly be more goals in this game. I think City are not going to settle back right now. I think they're going to go for it in the second half. Arsenal are not pressing Manchester City. They're allowing them to play their game, and I think that's a very dangerous thing to do. I think City are at their most beatable, if you can call it that, are at their most beatable when teams press them. When teams put their individual players under pressure, that's when they're at their most beatable. And Arsenal aren't doing that so far in this game, especially as the first half has gone on. But we'll see how it goes in the second half. The players are out on the field now.
Yes, the players are back out onto the field, ready to kick off for the start of the second half. It's happening time to back over to match commentator. It's Paul James.
Thanks, Ross. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. Start of the second half. Arsenal with the 1-goal lead, and it is Declan Rice who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, David Raya. No changes at half-time by either side, so sorry, Mike. Kai Havertz is still out there. As the ball is played long and out of play, it's going to be a throw into Manchester City over by their own corner flag down that left-hand side. As Mikel Arteta, well, a win for him today will certainly silence some of his critics within the terraces at the Emirates, because at the moment there is quite a lot of chitter-chatter coming from fans on the terraces wanting Mikel Arteta out. A victory today would certainly silence them for a little while. The ball is played long downfield, and it's headed back to the goalkeeper by John Stone. Stefan Ortega just releases the ball quickly now to Mateus Nunes. Nunes drops the ball back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji may go over to the left-hand side looking for Savinho. He's done that for most of the first half. This time he goes short to Foden. Foden played forward to Nunes. Break on for City here. Nunes now gets to the byline. He checks back. Nunes holds up the ball. He's just going to the corner of the penalty area down that right-hand side. Here's Phil Foden. Foden back to Kovacic. Arsenal holding on their 4-3-3. City with their 4-2-3-1 system. With 18 goal scorer Erling Haaland leading the line. As here's Phil Foden. I'll run through the teams again for you actually in just a few moments' time. Here's Nunes. And it's back to Foden again. Back to Kovacic. And Kovacic lifts the ball forward down the right-hand side to Nunes. Nunes checks back, and is he going to get this cross in? Holds the ball up. Plays it short to Phil Foden. Foden to Manuel Akanji. And it goes all the way back into the City half to Kovacic, having to chase that one back. And the ball is played forward to John Stones now, and he gives the ball out to Savinho. Savinho checks back and cuts inside down the left-hand side. It's back to Kovacic. And here's Foden. Edge of the area. Drops it back there to Mamouche. Good ball by Stones. All 10 outfield players in the Arsenal half of the field at the moment. Here's Stones again. Stones, long ball forward down the right-hand side, looking for Nunes. It bounces over his head and goes out of play for a throw into Arsenal. So the teams are as you were. David Raya in goal for Arsenal, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Gabriel, William Saliba, Jurrien Timber, Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, Leandro Trossard, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Martinelli. The City, Stefan Ortega, Josko Gvardiol, Manuel Akanji, John Stones, Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Savinho, Omar Mamouche, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland. As the ball is played forward now, headed out there by Miles Lewis-Skelly, and Leandro Trossard trying to just get a hold of the ball. He knocked it out of play for a throw into Manchester City down that right-hand side, level with the Arsenal penalty area. And Phil Foden just drops the ball back there to John Stones. Stones just waits. He's operating almost like a quarterback. Stones is looking for options. He's got plenty of options left and right. He decides to drop to Josko Gvardiol. Goes back to John Stones again. Back to Gvardiol as once again Arsenal stand off, allow City to play their game. Here's Stones again. Forward to Haaland. Haaland now drops the ball back. Here's a chance for Mamouche if he can get in there, but that's well marshalled by William Saliba, just putting that ball out of play. Kevin Benson says Chris Wolf becoming more famous than any All Blacks down here. Who would have thought? Let's just take a look at this. It's a super challenge there by the Arsenal centre-back William Saliba. It went behind, but off Mamouche last, so it's a goal kick, cleared forward by David Raya. It just lands at the feet of Manuel Akanji, who drops it back to the goalkeeper, who clears it downfield. It's headed down well there by Gabriel to Thomas Partey. Partey goes back to Gabriel. Gabriel goes back to the goalkeeper. David Raya just holding the ball up now, and at the moment we're just basically seeing some back and forth football by both teams. David Raya releases the ball quickly to Declan Rice this time. Declan Rice is trying to skit away from Bernardo Silva, tries to find Miles Lewis-Skelly, but nipping in and winning that ball back with Savinho. Here's Phil Foden. Phil Foden under pressure. Martin Odegaard trying to get the ball off Foden. Arsenal do win the ball back, but illegally, according to referee Chris Kavanagh. Martin Odegaard asking how that was a foul, but it is a free kick. Take a look at this again. Well, there didn't appear to be a lot in that, but the referee has given the free kick. And it's midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. Standing over this is Omar Mamouche and also Phil Foden. Mamouche has been outstanding in delivering crosses into the box in this game so far. He may swing another one in now. No, he leaves it for Foden. He swings it in, head up in the air by Kai Havertz. And headed out by Declan Rice, only as far as Mamouche. It's lifted back into the box again by Manuel Akanji, but straight through to David Raya. And he releases the ball quickly as Arsenal looking to create a break on here. Thomas Partey gives the ball to Declan Rice. Rice drops the ball back to Partey. And it's now with the number 2 there, Saliba. Saliba plays the ball down the right-hand side. It's a good ball, and it's picked up by Kai Havertz now. Havertz cuts inside, down the right, gives it to Thomas Partey. Partey, long ball over to Leandro Trossard to the left-hand side. Is Trossard going to swing the ball in? No. Drops it back to Gabriel. And back to Trossard again. Trossard again. Tries to get the cross in, and it's swung towards the back post, and Odegaard isn't there. Peter Banks is the referee. Yeah, thanks. I think I said Chris Kavanagh, didn't I? I had Chris Kavanagh when I was doing Football Live yesterday, so I think that's where the confusion is. It is Peter Banks is the referee. And that ball is out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. Leandro Trossard just gets the cross in there. It looks like it took a deflection of Phil Foden. The bottom of his boot there. That might well have been a corner, and I think that's what Martin Odegaard was appealing for, but it is a goal kick, and it's cleared downfield, but won comfortably back by Saliba to Partey. Partey drops the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up here and just cuts away there from Phil Foden, and it's all the way back to Leandro Trossard. Trossard just steering away from Mateus Nunes and drops it back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. It is still 1-0 to Arsenal. We've had 7 minutes gone at the start of this second half. Neither side really looking like they're going to change this at the moment. but both sides, of course, we know are well capable of. Here's Thomas Partey. And here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Plays the ball forward. Picked up by Kai Havertz. He releases the ball to Odegaard. Odegaard gets the ball caught under his feet and City win it back. And it's played forward now, looking for the number 26, Savinho, but it's comfortably dealt with by William Saliba. And he gives it to Thomas Partey. Partey plays the ball forward to Gabriel Martinelli, but he is in an offside position, according to the official on the far side, so it's taken quickly. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. An early goal on 2 minutes is the difference from an error from Manuel Akanji. The goal disallowed from Gabriel Martinelli, and a wide open opportunity for Kai Havertz that was put wide. Really could have meant that Arsenal could have been 3-0 up at this point, but here's Savinho. He goes long over to Nunes on the right-hand side. Nunes brings the ball down well. Drops it to Foden. Foden in the penalty area to Savinho. Savinho crosses it to Haaland! And it's 1-1. And Haaland levels the score for Manchester City. And it's a super header. And a fine ball in by Matheus Nunes. Erling Haaland on 55 minutes gives City the game-tying goal. And well, you might well ask where that actually came from. Well, it came for some slack marking in the Arsenal penalty area, but the ball over, this can't be, Savinho's ball over to Nunes cannot be underestimated. What a superb pass it was. It was then played to Foden. Foden gets the ball to Savinho again, this time in the right-hand side in the penalty area, just lifts the ball over the Arsenal defence, and Saliba just not close enough, and Haaland just heads the ball to David Rayas' left-hand side, which is pretty much where the goalkeeper had come from. There was no way he was saving that, and it's a 1-1. Well, the question at this point now, it has to be asked, is where do Arsenal go from here? They certainly haven't looked like they've been scoring for quite some time anyway. The situation for them right now, of course, is that they are in pretty much dire straits in terms of goal scoring capability. Here's Leandro Trossard. Is comfortably dispossessed by Nunes. Nunes gives the ball to Foden, but Foden gives the ball straight to Thomas Partey. Partey, is he going to have a shot from here? Oh, that was magnificent from Thomas Partey. A minute later, Arsenal are back in front. It's Thomas Partey, and I was wondering where the goals were coming from. I'm going to eat my words now with a side of humble pie, but that really was a superb strike. And out of nowhere, Arsenal regained the lead. And I'm just being reliably informed that was Haaland's 250th senior goal, by the way, before. But let's just take a look. The ball was given away again. And it may have taken a deflection which diverted it away. Yes, it did, off the back of John Stones. And that diverted it away from Ortega, who had no chance once that had happened. The deflection, yes, just took it away. And the top spin put it into the net, just grazing the post. And Arsenal are back in the lead. And it's 2-1 to the Gunners. Well, they celebrate that goal. Haaland can't believe it after he's just equalised. But there you have it. 2-1. It came from a giveaway again, really. The pass was a poor pass. And I think the pass came from Matheus Nunes, which led up to that goal. And Mike says, not me saying don't shoot when Partey got the ball. Well, he had a shot, and well, I actually think it's Thomas Partey's first goal of the season. I'm just going to double check that information, but I think that is the case. No, actually, it's his third goal of the season for Thomas Partey. That goal, and Arsenal are on their way right now it seems. Let's see though. City coming forward. Omar Mamouche trying to get the cross in. That's a good block by Gabriel. And he puts the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. And here is John Stones. Across to Akanji. Akanji to Nunes. Nunes to Akanji. Here's Kovacic. Got a couple of Arsenal players around him, and he skips away. And it's with Phil Foden now for Manchester City. Oh, it's a poor ball by Foden. Straight to Kai Havertz, and the ball is straight to Gabriel Martinelli, and the ball is played forward, looking for Kai Havertz. But it's just away from the German, just goes all the way through to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. And here's Foden again now. Foden just skips away, but he's dispossessed. And here's Kai Havertz. And it's Miles Lewis-Skelly. And that's Declan Rice. Back to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Forward to Kai Havertz now. He's got 4 in front of him as Havertz. He plays it short to Leandro Trossard. Trossard holds the ball up, and it goes back to Kai Havertz. He drops the ball there to Gabriel. It's 2-1 to Arsenal, and it's Thomas Partey again. Tries to play the ball through there to Havertz, but I don't know if he was trying to shoot or pass the ball there, but it went in the wrong direction. And now City can break away with Savinho over the halfway line. Martinelli checking back as well. Here's Savinho. Been very impressed with Savinho in this game so far. He's found himself a lot of space. His passing has been sensational. Here's Bernardo Silva to Foden down the right hand side. Cross swung in there, and it's cleared away. That's swung in by Nunes, but Miles Lewis-Skelly just getting in the way of that. And here is the number 5, John Stones for City, as they are storming forward, looking for an equaliser here at the Emirates Stadium. Good pass there by Kovacic to Gvardiol. Gvardiol turns, he's got Savinho over there on his own, and he picks up the ball, it's actually given to Omar Mamouche. Mamouche just drops the ball back to Kovacic. Kovacic. Really nice ball there to Stones. Cross to Gvardiol. Back to Mamouche again. Mamouche cuts inside. Kovacic. Gvardiol. Savinho. Savinho just under pressure here from Martinelli. And Savinho tries to play the pass through there to Phil Foden, but it's too much on that pass, and it goes behind. As we take a look at this again, it's Foden's pass, in fact, to Thomas Partey. It's a very poor pass, and the shot was deflected by John Stones off his back. It was very unfortunate for John Stones. It's not really a lot he could have done about this, but it's enough to take it away from Stefan Ortega and give Arsenal the lead. Arsenal now coming forward with Odegaard, back to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Here's Declan Rice. Rice, it goes back to Thomas Partey. Partey finds Gabriel. Gabriel drops it back to Declan Rice, and now here's a chance for Miles Lewis-Skelly. Cuts into the penalty. He shoots and he scores! It's Miles Lewis-Skelly with his first senior goal for Arsenal! And oh my goodness me, he teaches Kai Havertz how to finish in the penalty area while securing his first goal in the Premier League for Arsenal. And well, Arsenal now 3-1 to the good and looking in control of this game, it has to be said. Well, what a finish, and well, Pep Guardiola has his back to the wall now, and changes will surely be coming along, because Miles Lewis-Skelly had way too much time in the penalty area that time. Way too much time. There was 3 or 4 Manchester City players there. Neither of them closed him down. And you might argue that maybe Ortega could have done better. My defence for him is that he perhaps saw it late. I think just looking at it from the angle behind the goal, it looks like he might have seen him a little late. But nevertheless, Arsenal are 3-1 up, and Miles Lewis-Skelly secures his first senior Premier League goal. And what a performance he has put on today. And if anybody is thinking of coming in and taking that left-back slot, they might want to think again, because this man is showing himself to be an absolute starlet. Here's Manuel Akanji. Back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. And here's John Stones now. Holds the ball up. Arsenal now just, they can afford to now just sit back and defend a little bit and absorb a little bit of pressure. They have got themselves into a 3-1 lead with 2 second-half goals from the most unlikely of suspects, Thomas Partey and Miles Lewis-Skelly, showing the forwards. Oh, that's a terrible giveaway there by Stefan Ortega. And, well, he was nearly punished. Had it not been for Martinelli just losing control of the ball, that really could have been worse for Manchester City. But they have the ball now with Phil Foden. And it's down to Mateus Nunes, down the right-hand side. Can City get back into this game? Here's Bernardo Silva. It's back to Nunes. Nunes gets a cross in. It's over Haaland's head. And headed out by Jurrien Timmer as far as Gvardiol. Gvardiol gets the ball back to Savinho. Savinho. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Drop back to Mateo Kovacic. And across there to Akanji. Akanji, good ball to Nunes, back to Phil Foden. Foden holds the ball up, and it's lifted over by John Stones now to Nunes again. Nunes has Trossard in front of him, drop back to Akanji. 65 minutes gone in this game, still 3-1 to the Gunners. The ball is played over on the far side there to Savinho. And it's Martinelli and Timmer. And across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol back to Savinho as Arsenal putting up a defensive alignment and a wall that resembles very much the Great Wall of Arsenal. Let's see if City can break it down. Here's Kovacic. It's a good ball there to Phil Foden. Manuel Akanji. Oh, Akanji almost gives the ball away there, but it's straight to, in the end, it finds Mateus Nunes. And he goes back to John Stones as now Arsenal starting to press City back a little bit. Here's Kovacic. And it's with Gvardiol. Gvardiol to Savinho. On the touchline over on the left-hand side. Goes back to Gvardiol. 3-1. No substitutes by either side yet. And here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva holds the ball up. He's got options left and right. And he decides to play it short there to Kovacic. Super ball by Kovacic down the right-hand side to Nunes. Nunes squares the ball off there to Savinho. Savinho, long ball over, looking for Gvardiol, but it goes away from the Croatian left-back and out for a throw-in. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says, well, what an entertaining second half. It's not over yet. Come on, you Gunners. Well, it certainly isn't over yet, because one goal by Manchester City in this game is right in the balancing again. But I can tell you, looking at Pep Guardiola's face, he does not look very happy. Ball is forward to Havertz. Havertz lifts the ball back to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Short ball here to Leandro Trossard. Sliding challenge won there by Bernardo Silva. Oh, the ball is given away there by Mateus Nunes to Declan Rice, who drops it back to Leandro Trossard. He goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Of course, the importance of those two saves showing up right about now. As here's Gvardiol. Midway inside the Arsenal half of the field, he picks it up. Gvardiol cross to Kovacic. He goes down under the challenge. The referee says that is a clean challenge. And Arsenal 3-on-3, 4-on-3 if they can hurry. The ball is played through to Martinelli. He's in here. Can Martinelli make it 4? Oh, super save by Ortega. What a fantastic stop by the German. Just stopping that shot by Martinelli. And, well, Trossard goes down under the challenge from Bernardo Silva, and that's going to be a free kick. Well, media, radio, jingles and games said he doesn't think City will score 2. I think it's that is to make Arsenal safely the second in the table, well, I would never rule City out at any point. I always think it's dangerous to do that. But that was a super ball there by Declan Rice, and what a strike there by Odegaard, but matched by an equally fine save by Stefan Ortega, really pushing Ederson really for that number 1 position at the moment, because he's, in my opinion, he's a very, very good goalkeeper, and he's probably too good to be a backup. Declan Rice with the going to take this free kick for the foul on Trossard. It's a couple of yards in from the touchline, and the corner flag almost just down that left-hand side. It's pretty much almost like a corner, really. It's only a few yards away from being that, but he's actually matched up to be level with the 6-yard box of Manchester City. 21 minutes to go, and Declan Rice is going to take this free kick. Martinelli just trying to give some instructions. Bernardo Silva talking to Peter Banks, the referee. And Mateus Nunes having some issue with, with the official over on the far side. But the free kick is going to be taken momentarily here. At the moment, all City are doing is wasting time. They're 3-1 down. It's going to be Declan Rice that's going to swing this one in. Rice swings it in, and it's cleared away by Kovacic. Wasn't the best free kick. I think he was looking to beat Ortega at his front post there, but it's cleared away, and it's now going to be a throw-in. And he's probably just going to throw it to Miles Lewis Skelly. Indeed it is. Lewis Skelly just making sure the ball is nice and dry. James McAtee and Kevin De Bruyne are preparing themselves to come on for Manchester City. Not really surprised to see this at all. To be honest, because there is a lack of creativity at the moment in that Manchester City team right now. Throwing again, once again, to be taken by Skelly, but it's given away. But Odegaard wins the ball back, and Odegaard is alleged to have fouled Mateo Kovacic, and he's furious. He's talked his way into the referee's notebook. But Martin Odegaard, he needs to stop now. The referee has said it's a free kick, and that's it. And you can let's have a look at it. Well, he connects with the leg before he wins the ball. I don't think he can really argue. But he gets a yellow card, and it's kind of a stupid one, really. Anyway, it's a free kick to Arsenal, but it looks like the City are going to take the time to make those substitutions. Phil Foden is one of the men being replaced. Phil Foden is off. And that's for James McAtee. And Omar Mamouche is coming off for Manchester City. And I have to say, I'm really surprised at that. I actually think he's been one of City's more creative players in this game. But taking off Mamouche and bringing on De Bruyne is, no. It's no issue. We all know how creative and brilliant De Bruyne is. And he's on the ball now, and he plays the ball forward. So just to recap those substitutions, Foden and Mamouche are off, De Bruyne and McAtee are on. Chasing this one down is Jurrien Timmer. Tries to play the ball to Odegaard. Instead, he plays it off De Bruyne's leg, and it goes out for a corner ball to Arsenal. Well, I think Omar Mamouche has been very impressive today for City. I think he'll be generally happy with his performance. And for Manchester City, though, they really need something. Because at the moment they are 3-1 down, and you can see that there is not a lot of time left in this game. Corner is going to be taken by Martin Odegaard in the absence of Bukayo Saka. Odegaard going to swing this one in. And Ortega comes for it with a punch. Oh, it drops loose. Going down in the penalty area was Gabriel, but there was no foul. Goes back to the goalkeeper, David Ray, who's way out of his net here. And plays the ball long and only finds Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol plays the ball forward to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, back to Gavardio. There is 17 minutes left in this one. And Arsenal are holding out to a 3-1 victory and playing very, very well in this second half. Here's Bernardo Silva. Drops the ball down to Manuel Akanji. And it looks like Mateus Nunes just holding that position there. Drops it back to Akanji, who gives the ball to John Stones. Stones goes back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. Ortega clears the ball downfield, looking for Nunes, but only finds Miles Lewis-Skelly, who comfortably turns Nunes and gets away from Haaland too. With Haaland pushing him, it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, right on the halfway line there, as Miles Lewis-Skelly showing himself once again, just turning away from Nunes and just getting away from Haaland, showing that he's willing to go one-on-one with the best. There is no quit in this kid at all, and he has been absolutely outstanding today. Miles Lewis-Skelly takes a free kick quickly, gives the ball to Havertz. Havertz to Leandro Trossard. Back to Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Partey. Back to Raya again. Kevin De Bruyne trying to urge his fellow players forward. That ball was cleared by Partey, but only found Josko Gavardio. He chests it off to John Stones and gives the ball to Manuel Akanji. Akanji down the right-hand side to Nunes. Nunes back to Akanji. Akanji, long ball over on the far side. And Mike says OMG. I guess we'll have to wait and see what that means. It's now with Gavardio. Gavardio to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne goes back to Gavardio. 15 minutes to go in this one. It is Arsenal 3, Manchester City 1. And it's held up by John Stones. Stones drops the ball back to Gavardio. Back here to Savinho. Savinho forward here to Bernardo Silva. Oh, good ball out there to Nunes. Nunes back to Savinho again. Just switched from the left to the right here. Drop back to Manuel Akanji. And the ball is played forward here to Savinho, but it's comfortably won back by Thomas Partey. And now Arsenal 2-on-2 if they can hurry. Here's Martinelli. Havertz and Odegaard are joining. It's Martinelli to Havertz. Havertz cuts inside and he scores! It's 4-1 to Arsenal! And it's Kai Havertz this time! And well, with 14 minutes to go, Arsenal crowning what has been an excellent second half performance by the Gunners with a 4-1 lead, and Manchester City are currently being demolished by the Gunners at this time. And that was a superb finish, and that's what Arsenal fans need to see from Kai Havertz. That was a quality finish by the German as he celebrates. And it's 4-1. And, well, where do Manchester City go from here? Luke says, of course, Havertz scores a harder chance. And there's the OMG moment, as Mike says, but that was a super finish. Curling it away from his compatriot, Stefan Ortega. And that really was some of the quality that Kai Havertz does actually have that we rarely see these days. He's been a man low on confidence, but that will hopefully begin to lift his confidence, and it's a superb goal. It's 4-1 to Arsenal, and City are being turned over here at the Emirates. Luke says, of course, Havertz scores a harder chance. Well, that is very true. But sometimes it works that way, and now Manchester City have a mountain to climb at the Emirates Stadium here. It's Akanji, drops the ball back to Mateo Kovacic. Kovacic back to Stones. John Stones just goes back to the goalkeeper there. And Stefan Ortega releases the ball to Manuel Akanji. Mike says we want 5. Well, we'll see if we'll get it. Stefan Ortega clears the ball downfield flicked on there by Savinio and forward by Kevin De Bruyne, looking for Erling Haaland, but it goes straight through to David Raya. And at the moment, Arsenal looking like vintage Arsenal. They really are playing some quality football at the moment. And it's back with Ortega, and City have dominated the second half possession, 66%. You wouldn't think so, looking at this Arsenal performance. The ball by David Raya is just a little bit too long over the head of Gabriel Martinelli. And, well, you can see, Pep's face there. He just can't believe it. He's going to just take this one as another defeat in the Premier League. And the Arsenal fans celebrating right now. Well, they might. What a performance by them in this second half. And here's Odegaard. And it's across to Miles Lewis-Skelly. And back to Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball there to... Ooh, almost dispossessed there was Thomas Partey, and David Raya. Long clearance downfield and out of play. We are approaching 10 minutes left in this one. It's Arsenal 4, Manchester City 1. And here's Odegaard now. Plays the ball through, looking for Havertz again. And John Stones just tries to shield the ball out of play now. Did that come off? Yes, that came off Gvardiol, and it's going to be a corner to Arsenal. And, well, so far, no changes from Mikel Arteta either. And with the League Cup in the week, I have to wonder why he hasn't made any changes yet. Now at 4-1, you must be thinking he's considering it, but Martin Odegaard is going to take this corner on the right-hand side. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Those of you that's commented, those of you that's spent your afternoon with us today, we really appreciate you spending your valuable time with us. The corner comes in from Martin Odegaard. It's punched out, but only really as far as Gabriel, who tried to bicycle kick. Didn't quite work out for him. It was cleared away. Only as far as Miles Lewis-Skelly, who goes back to David Raya. David Raya clears the ball short. Picking up the ball there is William Saliba. And he gives the ball to Martin Odegaard. He's been fantastic today himself. Just Jurrien Timber. Timber cuts inside, drops the ball back, and it's picked up by Declan Rice. Rice drops the ball back with Timber again. Time ticking down at the Emirates. It's 4-1 to the Arsenal. And here is William Saliba again. Saliba drops the ball there to Gabriel. Well, the first half wasn't really that entertaining, but we've had plenty in the second half. And here's Declan Rice, gives the ball there to Gabriel. It goes back to the number 8, Martin Odegaard. Declan Rice again, this time to Jurrien Timber. Timber, can he get the cross in? No, he holds the ball up. It's a good play. Here's Odegaard. Odegaard tries to skip inside the defence. A quick back heel there by, I think that was by Gabriel Martinelli. It almost worked out, but it's one back here by Gvardiol. Gvardiol only clears it as far as Thomas Partey, and Arsenal continue to put the heat on, and City looking like a side low on confidence right now. Here's Odegaard, tries to swing that cross in, it's blocked. Arsenal maintain possession. It's going to be a free kick for the foul by Erling Haaland on Gabriel. Gabriel grabs his shorts, and Haaland is offering his hand to help him up, and then Gabriel says no. And there seems to be a history between those two. And Gabriel is just putting his boot on now, and he's being helped up by his own teammate, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. As Haaland is, you can see from the Arsenal fans, to stay humble, and the centre sign on Haaland. Those were some things that he said in the game, in the previous match. So we're going to see Ethan Nwaneri and Mikel Moreno now for Arsenal. Odegaard is one of the ones coming off. on 83 minutes, and also Leandro Trossard is the other. So Leandro Trossard coming off, and Martin Odegaard coming off. And well, it's in fairness, both of those have been absolutely spectacular. Well, particularly Martin Odegaard has been in spectacular form today. Ethan Nwaneri and Mikel Moreno are coming on right now for the Gunners, just to see this game through. 7 minutes left. It should not be too hard for these two now. We all know Nwaneri, he's got quality, he can score goals, and it's been a performance today in this second half by this Arsenal team. Here's Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli switches to the left-hand side, gets a crossing towards the back post, and it looks like it's just headed out there, or not quite out, by Gavardio. And it's back there to Timmer. Timmer tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked by Kovacic. Good work by him. And, well, it's back into the City penalty area, and finally pushed behind by Mateo Kovacic, and it's going to be a corner to Arsenal, as it's taken short this time by Declan Rice. And here is Saliba. Saliba, can he get the cross in? He's at the corner of the penalty area. He's going to take the ball towards the byline. He gets the cross in, but it's behind. And it is out of play. We have 5 minutes to go here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal well on top right now. And at the moment, we take a look at the second half stats. At 6 attempts by Arsenal, only one for Manchester City, which was, of course, the goal. But it's really been a dominant performance in this second half by the Gunners. And Havertz will, Haaland out of this game, will celebrate his 250th career goal, his 19th goal of this season. Havertz, a goal for him today as well. He struggled recently as Kai Havertz. And, well, it was his 9th goal of the season, however, so it's a pretty good return for the German. Here's Saliba. Sorry, Nwaneri, I should say. Nwaneri drops the ball to Timber. And back there to Saliba, to Thomas Partey. Back to Saliba again. Here's Havertz. And I am just going to feed my player of the match, or man of the match, through to Russ, my producer. And I will announce that in about 2 or 3 minutes' time. And it's now with Thomas Partey. Partey drops the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball to Martinelli. Down the left-hand side to Declan Rice. Gabriel to Thomas Partey, who's inside the centre circle. Gives the ball to Saliba. Good ball across there to Timmer. It's flicked forward there by Nwaneri, but the ball goes out of play off Mikhail Kovacic, and it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, as time ticking down here. You'll have to wait and see, Mike. Media, radio, jingles and same. It's been a brilliant game and a result for Arsenal this afternoon. We just need a 5th now. When the ball is played forward long, it's dealt with by Gavardio, determined not to allow City to concede anymore. Here's Morena. Arsenal 6 points behind Liverpool now. Played one extra game. Merseyside derby on Wednesday, of course, is the big one for Liverpool to try to get themselves back up to 9 points ahead of the Gunners. It's back with David Raya. And he's just taking the ball back into his own half. And back in towards his own penalty area as David Raya just clears the ball there to Thomas Partey. Partey just skips by Kovacic. Partey plays the ball forward. It's picked up by Nwaneri. And he's skating down the right-hand side now, Nwaneri. He cuts back inside. Swings that cross in. Oh, it's headed out. It came off Akanji and eventually stones and goes behind for a corner. As Arsenal once again trying to pile on the pressure, looking for a 5th goal. As Ricardo Calafiore is readying himself to come on, along with Raheem Sterling, just to see out the remainder of this game. Calafiore, of course, he scored against Wolves. And corner will be taken by Ethan Nwaneri. And the cross coming in. And it's almost headed in there at the near post by Gabriel. Oh, is that Jurrien Timber? It is in fact Jurrien Timber, who almost diverted that by Stefan Ortega. As we're seeing Ricardo Calafiore coming on now, and Miles Lewis-Skelly is making way. What a performance today by Miles Lewis-Skelly. He surely made that right-back position his own. That left-back position his own. As we take a look at his goal, and when you think about it, the goal, as important as it is, his defensive work has been absolutely sensational today. We're just trying to see who the other one is coming off. Looks like Kai Havertz is coming off for Raheem Sterling. So it's Sterling and Calafiore on. Havertz and Miles Lewis-Skelly are off. Well, time ticking down now. We're just about ready to give our player of the match, and we'll be doing that very, very shortly at the next stoppage in play. Here's Morena. Just turned away now by Ethan Nwaneri. He's also looked quite threatening since he's come on. Oh, that's a fine challenge, but it breaks loose to Sterling. Sterling, and the cross coming in by Timber. Oh, it's a good palm there by Ortega, and it bounces outside the penalty area, and somehow Arsenal maintain possession with Declan Rice. City not able to get the ball away. And here's Calafiore. Drops the ball back there to Declan Rice. To Thomas Partey. Here's Martinelli to Calafiore. Calafiore just stepping away from Manuel Akanji like he isn't even there. And drop back to Gabriel. Well, Gabriel just holds the ball. The ball is dropped back now to the number 6, Gabriel. And I'm in fact going to name my player of the match now, because at the moment I think Arsenal are just game managing now. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, I've decided to give it to Arsenal's number 49, Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's been quite brilliant today defensively, going forward. He's scored a goal. He's really cemented that left-back position all on his own today. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 49, Miles Lewis-Skelly. And the ball is down now to Martinelli. Martinelli gives the ball to Sterling. Now to Calafiore. Calafiore, and it's back with Declan Rice. Rice gives the ball to the number 6 for Arsenal here, Gabriel. Played forward to Martinelli. Back with Martinelli as Arsenal now have 1 minute of stoppage time. As Declan Rice plays the ball over. There's 3 minutes altogether. We've played 2 of them. Here's Nwaneri. Nwaneri with the shot! That is absolutely brilliant by Ethan Nwaneri. Oh, I say that. Oh, Arsenal have a future with some of these young players. They have a real future. Ethan Nwaneri, what an absolutely superb goal. It's his 3rd of the season, and that just caps off a magnificent performance by Arsenal in this second half. Oh, if you don't get the opportunity to watch that, watch it later. What an effort by Ethan Nwaneri. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What a strike. Just curled it away. Left Stefan Ortega rooted to the spot. And Arsenal, well, what a finish. And it's 5-1 with the game just about over. And that's Media Radios and Jingles and Gaming says, what a way to end the game. Told you it was 5. Turton Talks Football says, what a goal that was. Thanks, Luke. Ethan Nwanri. And that's it in his full time. It's actually the last kick of the game. Arsenal, with a scintillating second half performance, utterly destroy Manchester City. Erling Haaland getting a goal back, double things up at 1-1. And then after that, just mere minutes after that, Thomas Partey makes it 2-1 on 56 minutes. Miles Lewis-Skelly puts the game possibly beyond reach at 3 on 63. And then on 76 minutes, Kai Havertz makes it 4 and beyond any doubt. And finally, the cherry on the cake, Ethan Nwanri makes it 5-1 for Arsenal this afternoon. A crunching performance by the Gunners in the second half. And, well, Pep Guardiola, your team have been utterly destroyed today, and there's work to be done, certainly at Manchester City still. But for Arsenal, they can celebrate today with a 5-1 victory. And back to you, Russ.
Wow. I did not expect that scoreline or that performance from Arsenal when the game kicked off this afternoon. The master beats his apprentice. The apprentice beats the master as Mikel Arteta beats his former manager in Pep Guardiola, who was assistant to Manchester City this afternoon with a thumping 5-1 victory for Arsenal in what was a scintillating, as Paul said, scintillating second half performance. Media Radio Jingles and Games says he wasn't expecting that either. And Max has put, I did not expect that. I don't think many people expected that. If you go back to the beginning of the broadcast where just before we ended over to Paul for the kick-off for this game when the team was just coming out onto the field, I asked Paul for his prediction. And Paul thought said potentially could be 1-1. But if I'm being brutally honest, I'm going to go 2-0 Manchester City, Paul said to me at the start of before the game kicked off. How wrong was Paul in the end? What a performance from Arsenal. Fantastic goals from fantastic players. So let's run you through some of the scores from today. We'll run you through Premier League ones just a little bit later on as well. We'll give you up to date with all the scores in the matches. We'll start off with the Scottish Premier. We'll start off with EFL League 1 this afternoon. Bristol Rovers 3, Peterborough United 1. In the Scottish Premiership, Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, Rangers 4, Ross County 0. In the WSL, it finished Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1, Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 1, Everton 4, Leicester City 1, Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0, Manchester City 3, Arsenal 4 in the women's game. Tottenham versus Manchester United late kick-off. SWF Scottish Cup 4th round. Aberdeen 3, Hamilton Academical 0. Glasgow City 3, Celtic 2. Spartans 6, Kilmarnock 0. St Johnstone 4, Elgin City 2. Dundee United 1, Romeo Thistle 3. Falkirk versus Arts finished Falkirk 0, Arts 9. Rangers 7, Montrose 0. We'll try and find you the result of Motherwell versus Bonnyrigg Rose. That result yet to come into us here. We'll try and find you that in a couple of minutes' time. In the English Women's Championship, Chorlton Athletic versus Blackburn Rovers, match postponed. Portsmouth 0, London City Lionesses 1. Sheffield United 1, Durham 1. Southampton 2, Newcastle United 2. Sunderland 0, Birmingham City 1. We'll come now to the Scottish Premiership. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, Rangers 4, Ross County 0. Is the scores there. Spanish La Liga, Barcelona 1, Deportivo Alaves 0. Valencia 2, Celta Vigo 1. Osasuna 1, Sociedad 0 is the latest score at half time in that match. German Bundesliga, Eintracht Frankfurt 1, Wolfsburg 1, Bayer Leverkusen 3, Hoffenheim 1. Italian Serie A, Fiorentina 2, Genoa 1, Juventus 4, Empoli 1. AC versus Inter, latest score is 1-0 to AC in the Milan derby. 62 minutes on the clock there. Roma against Napoli, evening kickoff at 7:45. We'll bring you the full classified check from the Premier League today, just before we leave you in a few moments' time. Let me read some out of the comment section here. Video editors, jingles and gaming. I don't think anyone expected that scoreline today. I just thought Arsenal would probably win it. I didn't think it would be did think it would be a tied match. Also thought City could potentially get a win here, but it didn't happen. What a result. Second on the table is where Arsenal sit at this moment in time. We'll recap you the results from today's Premier League action and yesterday's Premier League scores in just a moment or two's time. But first, before we do you those scores, let me fetch back in your match commentator, Paul James. And Paul, I don't think many of us expected that result at the start of kickoff. Even you to have a 1-0 draw, or 2-0 to Manchester City to be more realistic.
Yeah.
Where did that performance come from today for Arsenal?
I have no idea. That was the best performance I've seen by an Arsenal team for as long as I can remember. That second half performance, not so much the first half, although they did a good job in the first half, but the second half performance was the best performance I've seen from any Arsenal team for as long as I can remember. You have to go back quite a long way to find a performance like that. The second half was brilliant. Everybody's going to be saying now, do Arsenal really need a striker? They've got goal-scoring capability. They've got players that can do it. Young players like Miles Lewis-Skelly are the future of English football. What a performance by him today. Ethan Nwaneri came on and scored an amazing goal. It was an absolutely sensational performance in the second half. And they took Manchester City to school. They took these superstars to school. And the only chance Erling Haaland had was that header. He was isolated for the entire game.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. And just want to touched upon him there about Miles Lewis-Skelly. Fantastic goal from him today. Showed Havertz how to score, and then Havertz goes and scores. As you said in commentary, he shows Havertz how to finally score a goal. But then Havertz did go and score a goal. As Luke mentioned in the comments, it was an harder finish, harder effort, chance than ones he had previously at Kai Havertz. There were questions around his inclusion today in the side, rid of Ricardo Calafiori from people in the media and ex-professionals such as Jamie Carragher, Thierry Henry, Michael Richards, those three in particular in the build-up on TV in the UK, thinking Calafiori did put through one when he came on against Wolves last week. Obviously, we know Lewis-Skelly got sent off, his record got rescinded. But he says he did put through wrong since when he came on last week, scored a goal as well. There's not really much more Calafiori could do, and then Lewis-Skelly goes out there, puts in a world-class performance like that for Arsenal at left back, and he just proves to show that Arteta made the right choice today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have no doubt about it that left-sided position, that left-back position, he has made his own. He needs to start. He needs to be starting every game he's fit. It just adds an extra line to that two central defensive partnership with Gabriel and William Saliba. Jurrien Timmer is fitting in quite well to that right-back position as well, although I do think Ben White will probably take that position when he gets back. But I think Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, oh my goodness me. I noticed in the comment section, Luke says, but yes, Arsenal still do need a striker. And well, of course they do. They still need a striker. They do. There's no question about it. But they're showing that the way that they play today, that if they can get a premium striker in, that's the next level for Arsenal. That's the next level. To get somebody in like an Osimhen, and that's the next level for Arsenal. That, in my opinion, would make them potentially a championship-winning team.
Yes, and obviously today there were critics on Kai Havertz coming into this as well, Paul, not really pulling up any trees in previous matches, missing some big chances, today, scored an order chance today. We're looking at his overall performance today. Obviously, you do say there also still need a striker. Say if Arsenal don't get a striker, we know Jesus is out long term now for Arsenal, especially after the rest of the season with his injury that he picked up today. Well, not today, in the previous fixture for Arsenal. Do you feel with Havertz up front, Arsenal can maintain their run and what they're doing at this moment in time?
I still think they need a striker. But if they play like that, it's not. I don't think there's a team in the land that can cope with that. There's not a team in the land that can cope with that. But performing like that in the second half in the way that they have done on a consistent basis, well, that's another matter, isn't it? But I think they'll get a heck of a lot of confidence from this game today.
Yes, absolutely. Let's just look at Manchester City. You mentioned Ireland only didn't really get much service today, didn't really play well today. Only real joy that he got was the goal from the headed goal from Savinho's cross. But overall, when you look at the performance from Man City, there's questions that need to be asked. No, preferably not on Pep Guardiola, but on some of the players out there. You look at like the Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Savinho, Haaland, some of those senior players in the squad in the front line. Obviously, I'm not going to put out Mamouche because he's only just come in, but when you look at the others as well, like I mentioned, Bernardo in there, Kovacic who's gets forward from midfield as well. There's a lot of question marks around those types of players, especially when they're not performing great. And you've got to question, do they believe in this manager now, and whether Pep's lost his judgment? I know Pep's a good manager, but do the Man City players believe in what Pep's saying to them if they're going out performing like they've done today? And it also went up the gear, Paul, in the second half and got the win. But looking at the performance overall from Man City, not just in previous weeks as well, City have been struggling recently, haven't they?
Well, they have been struggling recently, and I would say they've looked normal. They've certainly not been at their best. But I don't think they played badly today, Ross. I mean, Savinho was swinging the ball into the box. He was delivering good balls into the box. So was Mamouche. Nunez over on that right-hand side was looking pretty dangerous. I think you've got to give credit to the two centre-backs for Arsenal, Saliba and Gabriel, that just defended so well, and Miles Lewis-Skelly on the left-hand side, who was fantastic. You have to give credit to those defenders for the work that they did. Manchester City, certainly not at their best by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think they played particularly badly. They just came up against a team in the second half that, as you rightly said, had picked up another gear.
Yes, and and obviously, I'm not saying this since Arsenal just won 5-1 today, and Ortega's in there. They've obviously, we know Ortega's a good goalkeeper, good solid backup goalkeeper. But I'm just wondering, Paul, I don't know what you think here, but say if Edison's in there, a bit more experienced goalkeeper, been around a bit longer than Ortega has, and been in City a bit longer than Ortega has, whether his presence in there may have prevented some of the goals that Arsenal scored today. What do you think about that?
Well, I was looking at the two of them during the game, Ederson and Ortega. Now, if you compare the two, now Ederson has certainly been the busier goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's had 20 goals against him in 15 games. Okay. And he's been able to put a 1.33 goals against average in place with a 66.7% save percentage. He has a slight advantage in clean sheets with 3 over Stefan Ortega's 2. But the numbers are very similar here. 8 for Stefan Ortega in matches played, 10 goals against, which if you look at it on the same ratio, it's about the same ratio, really, 8 games to 15. A 1.25 goals against average, but a much higher save percentage at 73.5. Now, he has faced 20 more shots as Ederson, but the numbers are very similar there when you compare the two, Russ. So, I mean, I think somebody like Ederson, his presence in goal certainly gives confidence to the Manchester City defenders. So you're definitely correct on that, I think, because his presence gives that, but the overall performance between the two is very little to choose between them.
Yeah, I was more speaking about Paul, as you mentioned there, his presence in that goal and presence in that penalty area. I feel like Ederson commands his box a bit better than Ortega. Ortega will get there, working with Ederson over time. I feel like Ederson's just a bit more established in commanding his area than what Ortega is in some of the balls, also playing for some of the goals today. May have prevented, especially that what I think you go back to that Lewis Skelly goal. Take nothing away from Lewis Skelly, fantastic strike, but I feel Ederson would have probably got a bit more stronger hand onto that, and maybe from his position, I know you saw it late when you see from behind the goal, etc. on Ortega, so I'm not going to discredit him that. But I think when he gets an hand to it, I feel a bit more stronger and onto that shot from someone, say, like Ederson. Yes, he may have still gone in, but may have been just in the post and then gone in, not go straight in after coming off the goalkeeper's hand. So I feel like Ederson there may have, he probably still gone in from the velocity of the shot, but may have just been in the corner rather than straight in after it in the goalkeeper's hand. I feel like he would have probably got a bit more away towards the post, maybe the post hadn't gone in, whereas Ortega didn't get enough connection and power onto that, which is why I went straight in after touching him. I feel that's another area where Ortega can improve on. So I'll ask you this question here, which Luke has mentioned in here. He reckons it's a matter of age in midfield. He says Gundogan, Silva, Kovacic, etc. are fading away. Hence why Man City looking at a midfielder before the end of tomorrow at 11 o'clock on transfer deadline day tomorrow. Stay tuned to the end of this program to find out what's happening with us here on the commentary hub for transfer deadline day. But when you look at that, when you see that question there from Luke there, Paul, do you feel that's the reason why they're looking for a midfielder? Because of likes of Gundogan, Silva, Kovacic, and players of that calibre who have got in the squad fading away in terms of the age, getting the wrong side of them for continuing in the Premier League to the fast pace of the division?
Well, I mean, it's possibly that's the reason why. Silva and Kovacic both, as you said earlier on, were not at their best, and it's that's probably a defining factor. But remember, this breakdown by Manchester City, as we call it, where they went a number of games without a win, only just happened at the start. Only just happened this season. These players were already still quite old at the time. I don't know what the answer is to Manchester City in that situation. I think they should look for midfielders. It is good to refresh things, as Kevin De Bruyne is also getting older now. So I think obviously they do need to start looking at replacements within midfield if City want to still be at the top of the tree for years to come.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely brilliant coverage and brilliant once again from you and especially on your return. Welcome back, and what a game to come back to as well, Paul. What a game!
Yeah.
No one expected this scoreline, but what a game to come back to, my friend.
Yeah, it was certainly a fun afternoon, I think. Yeah, good to be back. I just needed a couple of weeks off, but yeah, I'll be back next week for the FA Cup. Spurs and Villa, I believe I'm covering.
Yes, so you'll be on with me on that game next week for that match next Sunday afternoon. Right then, let me recap the scores from the Premier League before we get the Premier League table, starting off with Saturday the 1st of February 2025. Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 2. Everton 4, Leicester City 0. Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 2. Newcastle United 1, Fulham 2. Nottingham Forest 7, Brighton of Albion 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Aston Villa 0. Sunday, the 2nd of February 2025. Arsenal 5, Manchester City 1. Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 2. So let's see what those results mean to the Premier League table after the results this weekend, and we'll look at the scores this weekend so far and the table so far this weekend. Liverpool top on at 56 points, 6 points clear of Arsenal, move up to remain in second, 6 points behind Liverpool in the title race. Nottingham Forest in third to their 7-0 win. They're 6 points above Manchester City now, and just 3 points behind the Gunners as well in the Premier League title race. Could City fall out of the top four, and could Forest make the run for potentially the title charge in the Premier League? Manchester City in fourth, as I say, 6 points behind third place Nottingham Forest. Newcastle in fifth, level on points with Manchester City despite losing to Fulham yesterday. They're up in, as I said, they remain in fifth. Chelsea remain in sixth and could move into the top four with a victory tomorrow night when they take on West Ham United. Bournemouth are in seventh despite losing 2-0 at the weekend to Liverpool. Aston Villa eighth following a 2-0 defeat to Wolves. Fulham are in ninth after their 2-1 win. They're on 36 points. They move up into the top 9 now. Brighton in 10th after their 7-0 defeat yesterday to Nottingham Forest. They dropped down a place, 2 points behind Fulham. Let's bring you what the table looks like in the bottom half of the table then after the results from this weekend. Brentford are in 11th after their 2-0 defeat to Spurs. Crystal Palace move up to 12th after their 2-0 win over Manchester United, which sees Manchester United drop down to 13th. Tottenham City in 14th after their 2-0 win, and they move up to 14th from 16th place after their 2-0 victory this afternoon over Brentford. West Ham City in 15th, and if they win tomorrow, they will climb up to 13th and above Manchester United. Could potentially move above Crystal Palace as well, depending on goal difference, but definitely up to 13th. But Manchester United from 15th, West Ham United, if they beat Chelsea tomorrow. Everton is 16th, just outside the relegation zone is Wolverhampton Wanderers, 2 points outside the relegation zone after their 2-0 victory yesterday, which are up to Aston Villa. Leicester are in the bottom three on 17 points, just 2 points from safety now. Ipswich Town, they lost again to South this weekend. They're in 19th place, just 3 points from safety. And Southampton, bottom of the table, 10 points from safety after they beat Ipswich Town yesterday. What a result in the Premier League today, though, this afternoon. And Luke says, Nuno. He says he loves that as well. Video Radio Jingles and Games says, terrific, entertaining commentary, Paul. The commentary has absolutely matched the game really well. And what an entertaining second half performance that was. Thank you very much to all our listeners this afternoon. If you've contributed or if you've just listened to the coverage this afternoon, really do appreciate you all tuning in this afternoon. For myself, West Sweden, Paul James and the rest of the team here at the Commentary Hub, I will be back tomorrow night from 7 o'clock on the Commentary Hub 2 as well, on just those two channels tomorrow night, as we bring you the Deadline Day transfer special on Transfer Deadline Day tomorrow. Join myself and hopefully some guests tomorrow to look at the closing hours of the transfer window. From myself and Paul and the rest of the team here, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you tomorrow from all the team here. Good night.